Welcome, everybody. I have a very special guest with me, head coach of Skyline Community College women's basketball, head coach Chris Waters. Coach, thank you for joining me here today.
John, thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. Skyline basketball, you guys had an amazing 2015 season. Have you had a real chance to sit back and reflect on the amazing year it was?
You know, it's interesting because the season goes so quickly, and you go from the end of the season right into recruiting for the next year because there's such a quick turnaround with community college athletics. So, you know, when you're making your recruiting pitch to high school seniors, you really start thinking about everything you've accomplished that season. So that's when the reflection starts. You think about what you've done. You're able to talk to the high school kids about where your players have come from, you know, when they first entered the program as freshmen, to where they're leaving the program by the end of their sophomore year. So it's really not until well after the season's over that you look back and think about you know, what the players were able to accomplish as individuals, and then how much the team was able to accomplish together. But it was a great season and nice looking back upon.
So when we look at the 2016 season, their schedule, it is loaded with tough competition. What is your favorite part about having such a tough schedule?
You know, I love to compete. I think that's one of the real purposes of playing is going out and finding some competition that basically forces you to elevate your game. I think as far as community college is concerned, our players need to prove themselves on the highest level if they want to get the attention needed to earn scholarships. So in that case, we want to go out and play the best teams possible. So when four-year colleges or universities are inquiring about our girls, we can say that, you know, this player had a tremendous game against some of the top teams in the state or some of the top teams in this conference or that conference. So, you know, it's really twofold in that it's good for our players, it helps them improve, and then it also helps us get ready for our conference season. We play in one of the top conferences in Northern California, and by really loading up our preseason, it prepares us for conference, so there are no surprises. We see some good athleticism, some fast teams in the preseason. We see some real height that can sometimes present problems. So it helps our players as individuals. It helps them sell themselves to four-year schools, but it also helps us prepare for our conference season, which is the most important part of our season.
Now in 2016, you're going to have 6 players, 6 returning sophomores. How important is it to have consistency like that?
You know, it's so nice for us because we have 4 freshmen who are coming back who really got a lot of playing time, and they played some really significant minutes in important games, important conference games, important playoff games. So that's going to be huge. You know, that those players who have had an opportunity to play in those kinds of games are going to help everybody else relax a little bit because they've been there, but they're also going to be able to push the other players because they know the expectation. They know what the level of competition is like, what the speed of the game is like, and how challenging, you know, of a step it can be from high school to college. So having those 4 with a lot of playing time really helps. With the other 2 players who didn't play as much, they're also going to help us because they're 2 players who really committed themselves to working hard and getting better. Later in the season, they started to get a little bit more playing time. So they showed some real signs of improvement. So looking at the freshmen coming in, we have 2 examples now. We have a group who worked hard and earned playing time as the season went along, and we have a group who played a lot of minutes and consistent minutes. And so they kind of understand what we want Skyline basketball to be about. And now we both become teachers. You know, I help with the incoming freshmen and our sophomores, and ideally our sophomores help with the incoming freshmen and each other. So it really helps, I think, elevate our program, elevate our level of play.
So right now, you guys went 18-12 last season. What would you say what's the mark for this year? What's the goal as a team?
That's a good question because it's sometimes difficult to measure teams by wins and losses, especially because we've ramped up our schedule to make it even tougher this year. So it really depends on how well we come together. You know, ultimately, we see ourselves as a perennial playoff program.
Coach, fantastic as always. I appreciate you joining me, and good luck on the 2016-2017 season.
Great. Thanks a lot, John. I appreciate it.
Thank you.